My screencast for my digital media assignment. To begin with, I'll walk you through just simple how I got the files into iMovie and then how I went about editing them into smaller sections. Right, so all I did, I simply clicked here, which imports media from anywhere on my computer, and I'd made pre-made folders on my desktop. So we have my digital media files, my meta videos, which were what I named the gig footage, and then some other work for other modules. So I'll close that. Right, how I went about editing the actual videos, it was quite easy. iMovie has this really nice feature where on the imported videos you can just simply slide across them to show what's in them without having to play them. So as you can see, having to sit through a 17-second video might not be what you want to do, so you can quickly go through and find which bits you want to cut out. And so here I decided that I wanted to start with them already up the grass verge, so I selected the video. I then shortened it to where I wanted the clip to start, so this yellow bracket shows the start and end of the clip, which is a really nice feature. For some other bits, for some other clips, I had, for this one especially, it's a 43-second long clip, but when I used it in my video, I wanted this final section where I zoomed in on the crowd to be in a slow motion. So what I did is I just dragged and dropped it into the editing part. I then clicked on where I wanted to cut the video, so I'll show you. You simply just press Command and B on my keyboard, and it cuts it into two nice sections and inserts a fade. For most of the video I used a 1 second fade in, so it takes half a second of the first one off and half a second here for the transition. I'll undo that. So to get the slow motion part, I isolated this part of the video so it didn't affect the previous one. I clicked here and went for the speedometer, and I wanted it to slow down. I didn't want it to slow down too much because otherwise the clip would be way too long to actually be usable, because obviously it's gone from a couple of seconds to 13 seconds already, just on 1%. So if I was to slow that down to 25, we've doubled that, so that's nearly half a minute just on going through the crowd, which is just a bit too much and drags away the thing. And as you can see, every time I click on this, it's doing something. Oh, I was actually on 50%. Right. So this isn't actually, I've just noticed that now, that it isn't actually the speed, it's 50% of the original speed. Is it 50%? So if we had 100 frames per second, on 50% it'd be doing 50 frames per second. On 25 we'd be doing 25 frames per second, and then 10 frames per second is what I'm thinking. Obviously when So, yeah. For some videos I used image stabilization, such as on this one here. We can see that by going into the camera shaker button and using the stabilization feature, because originally this clip was very shaky. If I find it, like, as you can see just by me going through it like that, it is rather shaky. And another thing I did on this was I actually reversed the footage, because here, as you can see, I zoom out. This was so I could get the focus of it in when I'm zoomed in, and obviously when I zoom out he's still in focus. It's just, and because I didn't want the moment to pass, yeah, I decided to get the focus zoomed in, then zoom out, rather than zooming in, getting the focus, zooming out, then zooming back in on him whilst recording. So I simply just reversed this section of film using the reverse thing. For other clips, such as these two here, I decided to leave them shaky just because it gives it a more natural feel, and because the zoom isn't changing and it was on pretty much no zoom at all, there wasn't really much need for it. And also because we're walking, it keeps that natural walking feel. On all but two clips, I decided to remove the audio so that no sound was made. In iMovie it's really simple, you simply just go volume and mute. I did experiment with using the detach audio entirely. So on some of the videos below, so you can actually right click and detach audio, so that the audio is now a separate entity to the video clip, which gives you much more control over the level, the fade in and the fade out of it. But for me, for this scenario, it seemed best just to leave it attached to the video. And here I left this audio in because it gave it a bit more ambience. Like you could hear the birds chirping away, the cars going past, and just the wind, which is a bit of a fluke if you ask me, that the ambience was so good, because sometimes it's pretty bad and just too much, if you get me. And then for this bit, I did it as an artistic intent, so I remembered the conversation that me and my friend were having whilst I was filming this footage, and I thought it was pretty funny, and that because the style of music is indie, I thought it was quite amusing that we were actually talking about how to be indie. So I left it in, and some of my favourite music videos have sort of like comical after bits. So like once the music video's ended, there'll be just some chatter or like bleed through the mics that the editors just decided to leave in, and just gives it like a really nice homemade feel, and sort of, it's not too serious, like it's not trimmed to a bone, yeah. And to do the fade out for the music is really simple. You simply have this control here, and it applies a nice gentle fade out. So all the bits that's highlighted in the dark shows the volume drop off. So I just moved this of where you could hear the conversation starting more, and then the music slowly fade away. For the title bits, I used just the standard titles here and here. I went for these because they just remind me of the band Catfish and the Bottlemen, and they're an indie band, so it just suited the whole aesthetic, really. and that is iMovie. Done.